Hi everybody, Nigel here, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and we've got an update for you for March. So start off by saying thank you to everyone for all your great comments you've made this month. It's been very busy with the comment section on the U-boat and everything. Also want to say a big thank you to everybody who's donated on PayPal and Patreon. It's very much appreciated, and yeah, a lot of people have a lot of new people on board, and a few people have gone have left because of for obvious reasons. So yeah, very appreciated, and as soon as we can get out and stuff, I'll be going and getting a new camera, and I'll show you that and everything. A lot of negativity this past month. I don't know why, just seems to come on a leaps and bounds and then go away for a few months. But yeah, that's why you'll notice all the comments are held for review, so that when they get silly, then I don't have to just delete them and block them if need be, whatever. So this video is all about sort of saying thank you to everyone, and also just to let you know where we've been in the last month, and to raise some of the sort of issues that people have raised. Well, to answer some of the issues that people have raised, and notably the ones that have been raised on sort of most occasions. So the first thing we'll look at is Trumpeter instructions versus Tamiya. Now there is a massive difference between the two, and I'll cover that now in the video. Also, there's been a lot of backwards and forwards chat going on with the bow planes on the new Dasworks U9 we're building. It's up there, you can see it. There it is here, and we cover that in part 12, which you've probably already seen by now. If you haven't, go and have a look. But yeah, we're going to talk about that, and big thank you to Dave in particular, who's been sending me countless emails with information, and lots of people have sent lots and lots of stuff through, and it's very interesting, so thank you very much. We're also going to look at the Scharnhorst bow. If you remember, I did the review on that kit, and I talked about the bow being the wrong shape. So people on here were talking about different lengths of Gneisenau and Scharnhorst, and 20, 30, 40 feet difference, whatever. Well, as far as I was aware, that the ships were the same. So I asked the question over on the Model Warships forum, and Dan came back with some fantastic answers. And basically it looks like Gneisenau had a different shape stem even after the Atlantic mods. I'm not even sure if Gneisenau had the mods. I'm not sure if Gneisenau was actually built with an Atlantic stem, but whatever, or Atlantic bow, should I say. So yeah, the two are different. Although they're sister ships, the actual form on the bow at the top at deck level is different. So the Trumpeter kit isn't right for both of them actually, because they've got the Gneisenau shape with the Scharnhorst hole in the wrong position. So anyway, so we're also going to look at some fillers. For some reason, I don't know if it's because of the Bismarck or whatever, there's been a lot of questions regarding fillers. So I'm just going to quickly go through what I've got, what I use, why I don't use it, and why I prefer to use other ones. So without further ado, let's get to the bench. Right, so Tamiya versus Trumpeter. Now, experienced modelers out there are going to know what I'm going to say, and how it all works and everything. Basically, I've got two sets of instructions here, and this is what raised the question. So we've got Yuka Kaze in 350th scale, which is a kit I've got, and this is Scharnhorst in 200th scale. Okay, now I guess really I should have used the Yamato instructions, because they're sort of similar-ish in price. This is slightly more expensive, but I thought I'd show you something which is simple. It's a ship, and this is fairly simple, I think. Certainly Yamato is a very complex model, but so these two I think match up quite well. But it's just to show you the difference in how Tamiya and Trumpeter work. And I was thinking about, I've been out in the garage today working on Land Rover stuff, and I was thinking about how I was going to put this together and what I could say, and I thought a little sort of joke scenario for you would be, Trumpeter, the man that decides what's the kits that are coming out for next year. He decides that they're going to make a model of Scharnhorst. So he grabs one of his guys and says, you need to make plans to do a model of Scharnhorst. And the guy says, what research do I need to do? Google. Okay, that's it. Job done. Tamiya. Managing director comes along and says, next year we're going to produce a kit of Yukikaze. And I want you to do it. And the guy says, what do you need me to do? Right, I want you to go in all the museums, find out all the information you can. I want the full story about Yukikaze from the day her keel was laid to the day her life finished, or scrapped or sunk or whatever. I want to know the complete history of her life. I want you to come back with detailed photographs, not just drawings. I want photographs of all the parts off the ship, like the armament and the torpedo launchers and the guns and everything. I want you to get all the exact specifications from drawings or whatever you can get. And I want you to do a thorough model, really build it up. And then when you've got that, present it to me before you do anything in the flesh, and then we'll go from there. And I think that's the difference. Certainly these guys have a passion for building a plastic kit, which is, and every one they want to make it the best plastic kit that was ever made. The more expensive line of Tamiya, they always come up with something innovative, something new, you know, and I can't wait to see what the next 32nd scale aircraft's going to be, because it's going to be something really special. I would personally like to see a Hellcat or a Wildcat, or a nice P-51B would be good, an accurate P-51B in 32nd scale. Amazing. It would be lovely. And whatever it is, if it's something I'm interested in, I'll get it for you guys. So that's the thing. Now, Trumpeter, these people are... Trumpeter are the main, I think, the main company. And then there's all these little sister companies. You've got I Love Kit. You've got Merit, which seems to have gone now and been replaced with I Love Kit. And you've got Hobby Boss. Now, Hobby Boss tend to produce kits alongside Trumpeter, but they always seem to be like the second, if you like. I don't know, it's difficult to, I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments, but there's certainly a difference in their range to what Trumpeter do. But whatever you buy, their instructions are always the same. They're always this end opening booklet, A4 size, black and white, with the, you know, the view like that on the front, with this black strip across the middle. You've got all your legends down here, decal application, some health and safety stuff here. Always the same, okay? And it's in Chinese and English, all right? And that's it, okay? Always black and white, never any colour involved, okay? Again, with Tamiya, you always get this A4, but not always, but normally with the sort of £50 and above kits, you get a book like so, which has got a stapled spine, side opening. But the difference is with these, if you look at this one, that's what you get. And then you're straight into sprue callouts. With this one, you open it up, and you've got here, in Japanese, you've got all the history of the aircraft, the ship, okay? All about it, telling you all about the actual type of destroyer it is, the actual history of Yukikaze herself, Yukikaze after the war. Then we've got it all here in German. And then you go over the page and we've got it all here in French. It's just incredible. And then here we've got the actual life of Yukikaze, her career. So the day she was completed in the Sasebo dockyard, and then all about her end. And I know at some point she was handed over to the Chinese, and I think in the end she got caught in a very bad storm and suffered a lot of damage and was scrapped. And it's amazing because she was known as the lucky ship. She got right through the war. Well, from her launch, she got right through the war, and then in the end of the day, it was a storm that sort of scrapped her off. So all the history there. Then we've got all the information about the photo etch parts, the instant cement, and where and why you should use it. We've got some painting tips. We've got the paints that are required. We've got all the recommended tools that they recommend you use. They've got the size drill bits you're going to need. Okay, and then we're into, over the page, we've got, this is the health and safety stuff, and then you've got your choice of having full hull or waterline. Now bear in mind, this is a 3/50th scale kit, and this is about 50 or 60 pounds UK. This is a 200 scale kit, and it's about 350 or 330 pounds UK, I believe. You'll get it cheaper, but retail I think is about 330 pounds. And with this one, you can see there's no history, there's nothing about the ship. Straight into the sprue callouts, and then straight into assembly. And it says here, make holes. In this one, probably 6 pages in before we're building anything. This is the same, make holes in the deck. Same as that, look, exactly the same. But this says make holes. This says the size you need to drill them. They're all 1mm except for that one is 1.5. And they're telling you exactly which ones they are. And you will also find on the plastic, there will probably be markings that will say like Y. Not Y as in WHY, but Y for Yukikaze. And then there'll be another one, Shimikaze, will have an S by it or something to say that those holes need to be drilled. So you can see these marked out circles here that aren't drilling through. They're probably for Shimikaze. Okay, so there we go. So you can see that the actual information in here is a lot more than the information in here. The other thing to note is TS69, XF56. This is telling you the colours you need to paint the deck, telling you the colours you need to paint all the little details here. Okay, so this is the linoleum brown colour, TS69, and then you've got the XF56, which is a metallic grey colour, I think, for your reels and everything. And it's telling you to put some polycaps in there so that the guns will go in and they can swivel. And that's all a very nice little touch, rather than just having the guns just dropping into a hole. And then here you've got the bulkheads going into the bottom of the hull, and it's telling you where you need to cut them off if you're going to do the water line. Again, going over the page, all the colours are called out. All right, and you can also see here, Type 3 loader for depth charge launcher. They're telling you what the part is. You're getting a stand. Okay, going through, adding all these bits on here. Photo etch, telling you how to cut them out, how to clean up the burrs, how to bend it, how to fit it, the tools you'll need. Okay, Type 92 quadruple torpedo launcher. It's telling you what it is. Aft bridge. Type 96 triple mount 25mm guns. Telling you what they are. Searchlight. Bridge. Center superstructure. And on and on. Forward torpedo storage. Instead of a plastic block, it's telling you what it actually is. Okay, it's not as detailed as it was in the olden days with the old Airfix kits, where it used to say, you know, fit starboard undercarriage oleo into bay or whatever. I actually learnt to read with Airfix instructions, believe it or not. And when I was in my very early days in school, I was very advanced with reading and writing because of Airfix instructions. Because if you're old enough as me, if you're old like me and you can remember, you got one image of an exploded view of the aircraft or the model, and then underneath you had steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way through, and it told you basically what to do first and last, and all the parts were named. And if you didn't know what the part was, then you had to learn, because otherwise you'd never identify it. So, you know, and going through, you got here 7.5 meter launch, depth charge director, veranda. Here you've got the 7 meter cutter, 12.7 centimeter gun turret, anchor chain. Well, we all know what anchor chain is, and like that. Now, if you look at the Trumpeter one, which is how people commented, yes, you get a colour call out, but there's no names for anything. Okay, there's no description of anything. There's no paint call outs. There's no history. There's no story. It's just one bit after another, after another, after another. And the other thing you need to look out for in Trumpeter kits is, like, say, okay, here's a good example. You're fitting this boat into here. In fact, I think I've actually just found an example of, oh no, there we go, sorry. Yeah, I thought I just found an example. But say this boat here, X52, part number X52, let's just say that's not there, okay? Wipe that out, imagine it doesn't exist. And this is what happens. Trumpeter, Dragon are the worst for this. Dragon instructions are diabolical. But Dragon are worse for this. And you sort of build the model, you've got 55, and you put that boat down in there, and then you get to the next part and you don't notice it. But that little boat has appeared in the instructions there. It's just appeared. Like I say, imagine that's not there, and they'll sort of miss this out, and then that just appears. And you get to the end of the model, and you've got this boat left over, and you think, well, where did that go? and you go back through your instructions, and luckily with that it would be easy to fit. But if it's something under there, you can see it would be really difficult to fit, and you'll find that stuff suddenly appears that they haven't told you to put on, like these guns will suddenly appear and they're not there in the instructions. So that's something else to look out for. But like I say, it's just endless putting parts on. You know, the turrets just drop in. There's no one polycaps for them or anything. It's all just, it's like Trumpeter are out for the profit, and Tamiya are obviously out for the profit, but they're also, they want to make the best job they can possibly do and satisfy the customer. And you know, you can see with their colour callouts, this is all you get with the Trumpeter kit, no matter what it is. Okay, that's what you've got. Now, there's nothing on here that tells you what period this is from. The colour callouts, as I've said before, are generally wrong. They're generally in error, so you sort of throw them away. They don't match. You look at those colours that they're calling up there, they're probably nothing like each other. Well, the gold will be, but these greys and stuff, they're probably nothing like each other. And then they'll call out the wrong colours, the totally wrong colours for the model. You know, so that's all you get with the Trumpeter kit. You don't get anything else. And you'll get it with like military stuff. I know the Scud missile launchers. There's about 8 different liveries, and it will show them all. There's a picture of them all, but it doesn't tell you any of them what period they're from, what nationality they are. It's just one's green, white and black, one's tan. You know, they might say Saudi or they might say Iraq or whatever, but that's it. They don't tell you any about units or anything. But with the Tamiya one, you get the colour call out here, but this is actually Yukikaze in a particular time, and this is where this kit depicts the ship as it appeared during Operation Tenichigo. Okay, so that's how the ship is portrayed, and that's how she would have been on that day. Having said that, I don't think that's right. I think I found a mistake that Tamiya have made. I don't think she had this on her side in Tenichigo. But anyway, and there's another little thing you see that Tamiya do. The box comes apart, and then you can put the model in the box when it's built. The stand and everything goes in there. So if you're taking it to a show, you can safely package it away, and your model won't get damaged, supposedly. But yeah, because the box is small, everything's folded up. You can see here the instructions are folded in half, and that's folded in like that, so it all goes in. So that's my little bit about instructions. Okay, so Tamiya, Trumpeter, there's your comparison, and that answers the queries that some people had. Now, some people might turn around and say, yeah, but Tamiya kits are really expensive. The latest 350th scale ship from Trumpeter, I think, is their Bismarck, which is about 200 quid. If you look at Tamiya's Yamato, it's about £250, I think. You can get it probably for 200 quid. I haven't physically touched the 350th scale Bismarck, but I can tell you now that the Tamiya Yamato is probably a much better kit. And then people will say, yeah, but you need to add the extras to the Yamato. Well, you do and you don't. You can and you can't. Trumpeter do an extras kit for the Bismarck, which is about 200 quid. You can get the extras for Yamato, which I don't think it comes to 200 quid, more like 100 probably, if that. So you get the deck, the gun barrels, the railings, can't think what else. You could also get a Pontos set if you wanted to, but you know, and there it goes. People talk about aircraft. Well, the Intruder retails at about £150 over here now in 32nd scale. Well, you can get the F-15 for about £140 retail. You know, the Spitfires and the Corsairs and everything from Tamiya are just absolutely gorgeous. Their Mosquito is stunning. Probably the best model kit ever made. Period. You know, so there we go. That's Tamiya versus Trumpeter. And I think when Trumpeter first started out, compared to the likes of Tamiya and Dragon and everything, they were really cheap. Their quality wasn't as good, but they were really cheap. Their quality's still not as good, but the price has come up. And it's the same with everything that comes from China. It's all the same. So there we go. Bow planes on U-line we've already covered, and I've covered in part 12, and that's been done to death. The bow on Scharnhorst, need to have a drink a second, hang on. The bow on Scharnhorst, now this raised a million questions. If you remember, I did a review and I talked about the shape of it being wrong because it shouldn't have this straight up bit at the front here. It should be pointed, but the actual length, stern to bow, going to this edge here, is spot on. So we can actually remove material from here to obtain this sharp edge. There's also supposed to be a hole higher up here, but we can obtain this sharp edge on the bow without actually, just do some sanding, and we can actually get an accurate Scharnhorst. Now, people were telling me about different bows and everything, and yeah, when Scharnhorst was built originally, she had a straight stem. Okay, it was pretty much straight up, and they found that they were getting loads of water coming over the bow and going into the guns and everything, so they put an Atlantic bow on her. Now, I think some people got confused, and I mean, I could still be wrong, but I'm 99.9% sure that she had the straight bow and then she had the Atlantic bow with the point on the front. I don't think there was any point in her life where she had a bow like this. So I asked the question over on the Model Warships forum, and there's some people on there that can tell you, the size of the rivets, the diameter, the length, and the material they were made of that held the portholes in. There are people on there that know everything. Now, if we look in here, I think this is the answer to the problem. And that's what Dan has told me. Thank you very much, Dan, if you're watching. It says in here, nice now. Remember, I pointed that out in the review. Nice now and Scharnhorst were the same, weren't they? That's what I thought. But no, Dan's told me they're not. So I've done some research. I've looked at some photographs. And bloody hell, Dan's right. Okay. Nice now has the bow shape like this. It goes up and then it goes straight. And there are two holes here. It looks very much like an Iowa class. I'll put a picture up for you now. There you go. And you can see, and when you look at Scharnhorst, she's very pointed here. It's different. So that explains it. Now, if Trumpeter have made the knives now first and are now going to make a Scharnhorst hull with a corrected stem, and they've just thrown this in the box to get the kits out, I will not be happy at all. I will be extremely pissed off, I can assure you. If they intend to make a Scharnhorst hull for another boxing of Scharnhorst and it has the correct bow, then won't be happy about that. So there we go, that's that one covered. And I'm glad finally we can put that to bed, because that has caused a lot of questions, a lot of heartache. Fillers. A lot of people are asking about fillers there. I don't know, like I said, I think it's probably that Bismarck. So there's loads of different fillers you can get. Generally they come in tubes. You've got your Mr. Hobby White Putty from Mr. Hobby. There's the good old Tamiya putty, which I believe is extremely difficult to get hold of at the moment, I believe. Contains organic solvents. It's really smelly stuff, but it's also very good. You've got this one here, which is the Viejo putty, which is a water-based product, which I personally don't like at all. It's very, very good for doing fine areas and everything, but it's water-based, so when you can wipe it away with your finger or whatever with water. I think it's no more than like tile grout, really. But just my personal preference, I don't like it. I don't think it sticks to the plastic that well, and certainly not as well as these do. You've got this one here, which is Tamiya's light curing putty. I've never managed to get on very well with this one. You put it in, and then you put it under a fluorescent light or whatever, and it goes off in seconds. And I've always find it also shrinks a lot as well. So don't really sort of like this very much, but I have used it in, for quick jobs. I mean, since this was made, I mean, it's bloody really old now. Can't see a date on here, but there you go, 2004. So I mean, this tube's 17 years old. It might even be dried up now, but I've always found it shrinks back a lot. And now there's these ones you can get with the UV light and everything. But this is what I tend to use a lot lately. It's car body filler, and you get the gold they're usually called gold or something, U-pole finishing filler or whatever, and it's that sort of yellowy goldy colour, and it's very, very fine. It's a two-part. You sort of, this would be a golf ball with a pea mix for your car body fillers. This is what I tend to use. This is like a red, you just do a tiny little bit of that with that, mix it all up. You've seen me use it on various models, and it's amazing stuff, and it does sort of stick to the plastic very well. Really, really good. And I think it's better than any of these. I mean, another thing is cost. I don't know how much this costs a tube, but if you think you get a tub of this, which is probably 3 kilos, and this is 32 grams, and that is probably no more than 3 times the price of that. So, you know, and I'm guessing that's just figures out of the sky, guys. Maybe it's 5 times the price of that, but you're getting like 100 times more. So yeah, so that's the fillers. Couple of other things. B52. I have been working on a B52 extended tail for the Model Collect kits. If any of you are interested in that, can you please nag me, because I need to be pushed into getting back on that. It's almost done. I just need to get the final few finishing touches done, and then I can make the mould and then do the resin copies from it. But I need to be pushed. I need to be pushed to get on with this stuff. When I sort of lose my passion for something temporarily, I need to be pushed to get back on it. So if you could actually, if you want that, then please drop me an email, tell me I need to get my ass in gear. The problem I have with that, guys, is the machine guns in the tail. There are 4 50 cal machine guns, and I can't mould them. They're too fine, they just snap off too easily. So I'm actually going to end up having to mould it, I think, with dimples that you can drill yourself and put some brass rod in, or buy some 72nd scale aftermarket 50 cal gun barrels, and go from there. But yeah, that's the bit I'm going to struggle with. But the rest of it, nearly done. If you can nag me, if you're interested in it, nag me, and I will get it done. The other thing is HMS Hood, the fret 5s and the resin funnels. They've all gone out now. I have sold everything I had. If you remember, I bought some frets from Pontos, and they actually arrived, and they've gone out now. So everybody that wanted one, except for 2 people, and you know who you are, haven't got them. Everybody's got them, sorry, but the last 2 people haven't got one. So I've got another 5, I think, on the way. So I've potentially got another 3 sets available. So if you drop me an email and tell me that you're interested in the HMS Hood funnel set, it'll be first come, first served, and there'll be another 3, and that will be it. So first come, first served, whoever does on the email. There was a gentleman, Emergency 785, you commented that you actually were interested in that. I've dropped you a line on the comments, but you haven't told me who you are. So I can't contact you if I don't know who you are. This is the thing with people, when people have names on YouTube, like, you know, Stargazer, I can't find you. I don't know who you are. If your name is David Parkin and you've got in touch with me via email before, I can look back and get hold of you, but I can't get hold of Stargazer. So Emergency 785, if you're watching this, I did actually put a comment in that video where you commented and said you're interested, but you haven't got one because I can't get hold of you. So that's that. The trolls, there have been lately a lot of trolls for some reason. I don't know why, all of a sudden, and that's why you'll see that all my videos have gone to comment, approve all comments. So you won't see your comments come up until I've actually approved them. So if you choose to send me something which is rude, derogatory, condescending, whatever, I will block you and I'll remove your comment. So if all of a sudden you find you can't comment, it's because I've considered that what you sent me was rude. So there we go. I've got 0 tolerance. I'm fed up with it. I've had enough, and it's been quite a lot lately, and I'm just fed up with it. I've had nothing for a long time, what seems like a long time, and it just seems that people on YouTube sort of take the opportunity to make a derogatory comment about something, And I'm not talking about someone saying, you know, I don't know why you used that filler, you should have used that one. That's just someone's opinion. That's not being rude. But when someone says you're really sad, you need to get a life, I think that's being quite rude myself. So yeah, and that's basically it, I think. And that is basically it. So as I say, if you're interested in that B52 tail, nag me and I will get it done. If you're not interested in it, then I won't hear from you. If you want the hood funnel, like I say, I'm going to have potentially, if Emergency 785 gets hold of me, I'm going to have 2 left. Or if he doesn't, I'm going to have 3 left. So email me, nigelsmodelingbench@gmail.com. Excuse me. And that's basically that. So again, thank you to all the people that have contributed to the channel. It's really appreciated. And I'll see you all very soon with more work on the U9. Oh, Titanic. A lot of you are probably thinking I've given up on it. I haven't given up on it. As you know, I'm working around those stern tubes, the propeller shaft tubes at the moment. And it's a lot of work with fill sand, fill sand, fill sand. It's just going on and on and on and on. And I can't really make a video about just putting sprue glue in, letting it go off for a couple of days and then sanding it. And then repeat. And then repeat. And then repeat. So it's gonna, somebody's asked me if I can show them how I do the plate, and I will do that when we get to that point. But I'm not going to go on and plate the rest of the hull until I get those stern tubes absolutely finished and faired in, and then I can, because what I don't want to do is plate sort of, if you can imagine this is Titanic, what I don't want to do is come all the way down here with the plating and then find out that here it needs to sort of kick up, because it's going to look horrible. What I'd rather do is have a kick blending up, you know, to end up to the same point rather than doing this. I've already had to carve loads of stuff off where I've made mistakes. So there we go. That needs some bloody, that's horrible, that seam, isn't it? Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, so Titanic hasn't been given up on. It's being worked on, but you may not see it for maybe a couple of weeks until I get this bloody form perfected around the back end. So thanks for watching, guys. If I bored you to death, I'm really, really sorry. If you have fallen asleep, that's understandable. And I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.